I'm alive! Sorry, guys. I thought I was going to be far quicker than that. I clicked a button and then it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. But it's fine. We got it all going on. Qoop, how are you, my friend? Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm full.
Chicken?
Pancakes, chicken, you name it. I'll eat it.
Not chicken on pancakes, surely.
No.
No. I mean, that'd just be like a sweet chicken wrap, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That wasn't sweet.
Yeah. What was with the chicken?
Pardon?
What was with the chicken?
I had enchiladas.
Oh, enchiladas.
Yeah.
I see that we got Earth Mode Dan in the room as well. Welcoming Dan, obviously our German correspondent. We'll be hearing a little bit from Dan in a bit. Dan had a Mexican night last night with his missus. It was a delayed Valentine's. I'm intrigued at what Dan consumed. Hello, Dan. What did you consume? Did you have enchiladas? Did you go burritos? Did you go... I know obviously Dan's vegan, so he would have had no chicken within or beef, but... Was it enchiladas? Was it burritos? Was it taco or fajita?
Bit of grass.
Bit of grass.
Some air. You know.
Oh. This is good. For anyone who hasn't had this before, that's just a glass. You have no idea what it is. Is this stuff, which is Brewdog. It's called Clockwork. It's got like a tangerine hint for it. It says Session IPA. Now... I mean, don't get me wrong. If I've got a drink in front of me, they're all session. All session. Because there's no easing up on it. Anyway, welcome in, guys. Down the Local, episode 3 of the relaunch. Episode 3? Episode 3?
I don't even know what month we're in anymore.
Episode 4.
What year?
It's episode 4, mate. We're on episode 4 already. We done one. Then we had the... transfer deadline day last week and this week. Episode 4, man. I need to catch up.
I miss transfer deadline day.
Oh, I miss transfer deadline day when it's good.
Yeah.
COVID transfer deadline day was poo. But welcome all, one and all. Welcome to Down the Local, the irreverent football chat. We will be looking at games going on tonight. We're going to have a little review. ChrisQoopmara will be keeping us up to date on what's happening around the grounds.
I'll be doing my best. There's a lot of games on tonight.
Mock chicken mole, guacamole salsa, black beans, Mexican rice and tortillas. Do you know what? It sounds pretty good. And jalapeno margaritas. Mate, you gotta love a spicy margarita. Was it with tequila, Dan? Did you have proper tequila in there?
Because you love the tequila.
I'm smiling, baby, because I ain't going to have to have it. No tequila. Of course, real tequila. Ooh. Love it. Love the stuff. It's all a big fake, mate. I genuinely, it's my
Your
favourite
version of heaven, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Genuinely my favourite drink in the world. Anyway, so I'm glad you had a good one. Why did the Mexican throw his wife off a cliff?
Goal at St Andrews.
Oh. 2.
It's Country 0, Norwich City 2.
Whoa. Why did the Mexican throw his wife off the cliff? I don't know.
Many reasons, probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, he probably had to pick one in the end, I suppose. Tequila. I like it. Tequila. That's actually quite good. I was thinking all the different things on there. It's like, what's the other one? Why does the Mexican... why is it okay for a Mexican to call another Mexican stupid?
Go on.
Because it takes one to know one.
Oh dear, no.
Prefer tequila.
Not
Prefer tequila. Cool.
Yeah.
So, give us a little roundup at the moment and Qoop, of what has been going on in the games today and what we've got coming up.
So we've got games all over today. We've got Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, Champions League, and the SPL. So in the Premier League, there's about 5 minutes left of Burnley against Fulham, which is currently 1-1. 8:15, Everton against Manchester City. Down in the Championship, there's some 7 p.m. kickoffs. Coventry are currently losing 2-0 to league leaders Norwich. Millwall 1-up at Birmingham. QPR are losing 1-0 to Brentford. And Swansea City Forest is 0-0. No one cares about League One or League Two. The only relevant score in Scotland is Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Is that relevant?
Don't know. Funny if they lose, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's about how relevant that gets.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's good to see them lose. After years and years of domination due to financial dodginess of Rangers, it's good to see Celtic finally getting beat again. Would have been nice to see someone like Hearts when they were quite good, or Aberdeen or someone like that win the league title in that period of time, but wasn't to be. So it's good to see Celtic get knocked off the perch. Neil Lennon go back in there thinking he's going to be some kind of god, and prove he's not. The only god he is God to Steven Gerrard, because he's given Steven Gerrard his first ever title. So yes, let's progress on. So what we want to do, guys, is very quickly, at the moment, Swansea 0, Forest 0 is coming up to half-time. Barnsley Blackburn has just started. We are going to have a little poll in the chat called Robert Lewandowski. See what I've done there? We're going to have a little poll.
He's not a little poll, though, is he?
No, he's a big poll, but it didn't work if I said we're going to have a big poll in the chat. So what we want to do is will Barnsley be beating are they playing Blackburn?
Yeah.
Blackburn at half time. And you can get your channel points in there and get some stuff going on. Double up, get some points go on. I mean, Qoop, you can even have a blast on it.
I was looking at my tablet, I was like, shall I have a little vote?
Get some points going on. So we will have a yes or a no. And that is now live. So get your shouts going on, whether you think they're going to be in front come half time. We will obviously keep you up to date. We've got all the things coming on like normal. We'll be keeping you up to date with all the games going on. Cooper's got it in the background. He's tracking the matches. We will also be hearing, as I say, from Earthmate Dan, our new German correspondent. Dan said he was going to do a German accent for it, but his missus told him no. So he had his confidence knocked. And he said, "No, I can't." But you know,
is he going to do the Daniel Fark one?
He probably.
The Canaries, the Commonwealth.
It probably would have been. It probably would have been closer to imagining Joey Barton went to play in Germany, or Steve McLaren got a gig. Oh, he did get a gig, didn't he? He was managing Wolfsburg. I wonder if Steve McLaren ever tried to do a German accent when at Wolfsburg, or whether he learnt his lesson by then.
Learned his German lesson.
Well, he done it at Twente, didn't he? And then everyone mocked him, so he probably just thought, do you know what? I won't do that again. I'll remember.
Do you reckon he knows he got mocked?
What? Of course he does.
Do you reckon the Dutch mocked him, or they just thought generally he was...
Mate, during that interview, he claimed he didn't know the word for defeat or something like that. How you say defeat? You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And then he proved his point a few years before that anyway with the umbrella. But, you know... Sunday mornings, mate. Never rock up with an umbrella. Put a hood up or something. Don't be a clown. Anyway, Dan decided not to do a German accent. We just went for the norm. We've got that. We have got Knobhead of the week.
Knobhead of the week.
Knobhead of the week. We will also have this week's Bajie's Bad eBay Buys. Found another couple of gems.
Ooh.
Not quite at the controversial level of people just putting the wrong freaking numbers or advertising something wrong. These are actual gems based on how much people want for them. And what they are, essentially.
Ooh. It's exciting times.
Yeah. Well, it's not exciting times, but it will definitely get me a little bit
hot and flustered. I'm excited.
Well, you should be. You should be excited for one of them until you see the price. Anyway, we move on. We move on. I reckon we're now at a point in time where maybe have we got many predictions going on? We'll wait a couple of minutes for our prediction line to finish. Actually, no, we don't have to do that. We can just get that going on now. Just shrink that up. There we go. That's glorious. Do that. Wrong button. Just messing around for a second. There we go. Beautiful. Right. I reckon while that prediction is still going on, I reckon we have ourselves a little break for a couple of minutes, Qoop, and we give ourselves a little listen to what Dan's got to say about the Bundesliga currently. So
I could do with we've been on about 10 minutes, haven't we?
Yeah, I could do exactly. We were chatting a little while before. We were waiting for a couple of extra people to join in, but now let's have a little. Exactly. Seamlessly, I'm going to move us over to Dan. So, Qoop, if you want to mute your mic, and then I will do the same this end. And so, welcome, guys. We are looking at German football, the Bundesliga. We are lucky enough to have with us today a fellow streamer who we actually, after meeting, found out we had more in common than just Football Manager. Welcome in, Dan, Earth Mode Dan on Twitch and a variety of other media. Give us a little bit of lowdown about yourself, Dan.
Hey, Bajie. Yeah, thanks for having me here. So we were born in the same hospital. You left that information out. Yeah, same place, same hospital. I'm Earth Mode Dan. I'm a variety streamer. I am English. I was born in the UK, but I've moved over to Berlin about 5 years ago. I've been living with my wonderful fiance. I am a variety streamer. I create lots of different types of content on Twitch and Facebook and my other socials, including kind of podcast material around mental health and, of course, Football Manager content. Otherwise, I'd be less relevant. But yeah, I've been in Berlin for 5 years and trying to keep up with the football as much as possible. I do follow her to Berlin and Dortmund as my main two teams here. But I can give you the rundown on Bundesliga football, no problem.
Brilliant. So Dan will be our correspondent for German football on Down the Local for at least the remainder of this season. So that now covers some of the big leagues around Europe. Dan will be covering the German. Obviously, we've got Sean doing the Italian and Fabio doing the Portuguese league, and then myself and Qoop covering the UK side of things, and then any other bits and pieces that crop up. So Dan, give us a lowdown on what has been occurring. Who are the movers and shakers in the title race this season in Germany? Who are looking like they're struggling?
Okay, let's start with the title race, shall we? It's probably not a surprise to anyone to hear that Bayern München at top of the table after 21 games, 49 points, pretty formidable this season. Their record is 15 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. But they are quite clear at the top by 5 points at the moment, largely thanks to their offensive football. 61 goals for Lewandowski, top goal scorer. He's continues to be the best out and out striker in the world in a lot of people's opinions. Also a lot of support from Kimmich, from Müller, from Koeman. all performing really well in the assist charts, and they've also got the best away record in the league. So they're really formidable at the moment.
Okay.
5 points further back, you got Leipzig. RB Leipzig, 44 points. Also doing pretty well considering the players who lost in the summer. People thought they might drop down after Werner left, but they are competing with München at the top of the league at the moment. 13 wins, 5 draws, 3 defeats. They have the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
So that's how they are kind of where they are after 21 games, conceded just 19 goals. So pretty strong there. And they've got the most points at home as well, with just 1 defeat at home so far this season. So it's really those two at the top of the table fighting for the title. Yeah. And then the teams kind of following in behind. There's probably about 5 teams that are competing for the European places in terms of the Champions League anyway.
Okay.
So third in the table, and perhaps surprisingly, Eintracht Frankfurt, predicted kind of mid-table at the beginning of the season. They're 5 points behind Leipzig, doing really, really well. Second highest goal scorers in the league.
Wow.
Second in the away table, and lost only 2 games all season. So really, really, and their form is amazing at the moment. 4 wins, 1 draw from their last 5 games. So
only 2 losses. So they must have drawn quite a number of games then to sort of be that far back. But I mean, Frankfurt were doing fantastically a few years ago when they had Haller and Jovic as the front two. So to lose both of them and then still be sort of second top scorers in the league is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so they have recently got Jovic back on loan.
Of course,
yes, we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're scoring away, and I think that the goals are being shared among a number of players. To be honest, but doing really, really well, and much better than anyone might have thought at the beginning of the season. But they, along with Wolfsburg, are the 2 pushing most for the Champions League places.
Okay.
So Wolfsburg form also really strong. They have the second best defense in the league. So kind of they're just behind Leipzig in those terms. And again, lost only 2 games all season, unbeaten at home. So some really good performances both from Frankfurt and Wolfsburg to put them up the table, and probably above expectations in both cases there.
Yeah, and I think I've sort of just having a quick glance. And also hearing people will be really surprised to hear that Dortmund aren't in that top 4.
Yeah,
and even and Leverkusen, who have been sort of flying over the last couple of years and almost sort of building up to where they were early 2000s, late 90s, are not in there. I know they're sort of 5th, 6th, are they?
Yeah, so we got Leverkusen in 5th, Dortmund 6th, and then Mönchengladbach in 7th.
Again, Mönchengladbach, last couple of years have sort of had a renaissance almost. I mean, they were a big German team along with München in the 70s and early 80s. So it is a surprise to see those teams who have sort of had that renaissance dropping off again a little bit. And I think obviously Wolfsburg a few years ago had a fantastic team and then had loads of issues financially because they're basically run by VW, weren't they? Is it VW that Wolfsburg?
It is VW, yeah.
And
I think it's a similar case with every single German team except for München.
Yeah,
like they and Leipzig, sorry, in that it's not like the English league where you get foreign investors. Like they have to run themselves and they have to buy, sell players and sell for profit. It's really tough for German teams to compete outside of the German league and to compete inside the German league with the likes of München and Leipzig. Obviously, Dortmund do really well year after year, but this year it's been a struggle for them. They changed managers, and despite having some really good young players, they're very inconsistent.
So sticking with the sort of top end of the table, anyone that at the moment you think is sort of overperforming to be in the position they are? Obviously, München, we expect them to be at the top. They're never overperforming, and actually only 5 points clear at this stage. They're probably underperforming compared to normal. But anyone that you think are overperforming at the moment?
it's definitely Frankfurt. Like,
Yeah.
Far and away, they're expected mid-table. They're pushing. They're only 5 points behind Leipzig, and they've got Luka Jovic in the January transfer window on loan from Real Madrid. So he's already scored, I think, 3 goals in 5 appearances for them, mostly off the bench. So he's only going to add to what Frankfurt have been delivering this season.
Yeah,
and I would say they are clearly the overachieving team. Like shout out to Leipzig, like the fact that they've continued to push. They're in touching distance of Munich. It's 5 points. It's not a million miles away.
no.
Like a couple of good games or bad games from either side, and it could be pretty level. So I think Frankfurt and then Leipzig, performing really well.
Okay, cool. So bottom end of the table, any shocks down the bottom end?
Oh yeah. So you probably looked at it already, but Schalke really struggling, bottom of the table, only 9 points after, what did I say, 21 games?
21 games, yeah.
And just hearing from kind of some friends in Germany, they really are the laughing stock of German football at the moment. Just like they've got such a rich history, and to be struggling so badly this season, they were expected a mid-table finish also. So they're going to get relegated unless they go on a huge run.
Yeah.
They're currently 9 points off kind of getting out of those relegation places. So really struggling. We've then got Mainz, who are 5 points above Schalke on 14, and Arminia, who are a further 4 points above Mainz. So yeah, you can see the gap to Schalke there. It's significant. I would say that Mainz and Arminia are where they're kind of expected to be. Arminia did have a really good result against München not so long ago. A 3-3 draw. They were leading 3-1 as well.
Yeah, I saw some highlights of that. I'm not even purposely. I think it flagged up on my phone for some reason on YouTube or came in after, and they looked like a decent attacking outfit and movement and things like that going forward. They look really good, and Munich seemed almost struggled to deal with them at times. So when I saw the league table and saw they were right down there, I was pretty surprised. I was expecting, after seeing that, to be around the mid sort of table area. So yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah, I mean they were strong favourites to be relegated, so it's no surprise that they're down there. But yeah, they're obviously doing some things right to be. I mean, they're technically they're joint with Hertha BSC at the moment, who've invested a lot in the last few years. Who've recently got Sami Khedira in from Juventus.
Yes.
So the fact that they're kind of level on points with Hertha, I think it says a little bit about how Hertha are doing at the moment as well. But they're still in contention to be competing in the Bundesliga next season, which is great.
Yeah, that's good. So really, I mean, when we look at the shocks at the bottom of the table, obviously Schalke are the polar opposites of Frankfurt, both expecting to be sat mid-table, one pushing Champions League and one looking like they're going to be fighting a promotion race next season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we briefly touched on the transfer window with Jovic going back to Eintracht from Real on loan for the remainder of the season. And you just sort of said there about Sami Khedira getting in at Hertha. Obviously, Hertha already had Matteo Guendouzi in this season, and there's been some shouts that he's been doing really well, which I don't think will surprise anyone. I think Arsenal fans, Qoop himself for being an Arsenal fan, and yourself, I know, as an English fan of Arsenal. No one ever doubted Guendouzi's ability to play football. It was more his dodgy attitude and inability to control himself. That was the problem. So he seems to have sort of settled in with a low-key team relatively. So, but what about other sort of transfers? Any biggish deals that happened within the January window?
So Klaas-Jan Huntelaar back at Schalke.
Wow.
I mean, this could be a genius signing, or it could be, I don't know, it's
desperation.
it could be desperation. I don't know. I'm not sure how he was doing at Ajax beforehand, but with Schalke 9 points off away from kind of getting out the relegation places, it could be that they've got someone in who's going to bag them enough goals to climb out of it.
Yeah.
Or it could just be kind of a last hurrah for Huntelaar.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely a surprising one. It's one that slipped under the radar as well. I wasn't aware of that transfer, but he's got to be sort of 34, 35 now. So, I mean, they are really hoping that he can rediscover the form of yesteryear, I'm guessing, in there, because it's a big ask. It is a big ask.
Yeah.
Any others? What else?
Yeah, so a couple to note from the Premier League, you might be aware of, you might not. Max Meyer moved to FC Köln from Palace after quite a few years at Palace.
Yeah, they cancelled his contract, Palace. He was due to finish in June, and so I saw that, and I saw that he'd been released early, which surprised me because I always thought he was a good player. But then when I saw that he was only a bit part player at Palace and they were paying him 150 grand a week, I wasn't then surprised that they cancelled his contract and let him go. So yeah, to rock up at Köln, it is big money, and I can't imagine Köln are playing him that.
No. Max Meyer, he's an interesting one. Very good technically, physically not so good. Maybe the Premier League just wasn't his thing in terms of the physicality. I do remember him rocking up and having some really good games for Palace, but maybe being back in Germany is going to really help him. The other one I noted here was Demarai Gray from Leicester moving to Leverkusen, which is pretty big. Again, could be a key signing for Leverkusen, who rely a lot on Leon Bailey to get to be their creative outlet. So now they've got two really strong kind of wide players. Hopefully Gray's going to get the minutes that he didn't get at Leicester and look to push on. He did score on his debut as well. So
okay. So yeah, I mean, Demarai Gray's an interesting one because there's all the talk about the young players, the sort of 18, 19, 20-year-olds going over and finishing their development in Germany and progressing on and moving on to those next steps. But Demarai Gray is 22, 23, maybe even 24 now. So he's kind of, that development era seems to have gone. So it's an interesting one for a German club to then bring him in, especially as he's not playing at Leicester. So it's, when I saw that, I thought, do you know what? Fingers crossed it works out for him, because I genuinely think he could be a very good player, and he's kind of just sat on that periphery for a period of time. He does remind me of a young Wilfried Zaha a lot of the time when I've seen him. A little bit slight, but good with the ball, very quick and quite direct. But we'll see. Fingers crossed it works out for him at Leverkusen.
Yeah, and who knows, if he has a really good second half of the season, maybe he can kind of do something in the Euros.
Maybe. I think most of those places are pretty wrapped up now, but you never know. Yeah. There's always a sneaky last minute person.
Yeah. I think a couple of other kind of mentions just in terms of player performances. Andre Silva at Frankfurt has been doing really well in the league for them. He's second highest goal scorer. Obviously, everyone wants to hear about Erling Haaland. He is their top goal scorer at the moment in the league. So he's been scoring. He's averaging a goal a game for Dortmund. He's just not been playing every game. I'm not sure if that's because of injuries, or I suspect it is.
Yeah.
But he's also, according to Who Scored ratings, number 5 best player in the league at the moment. So it's not because Haaland isn't performing that Dortmund are doing so bad. It's because the rest of the team around him are not doing so well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So, and as I mentioned before, like the Dortmund players, Lewandowski, Kimmich, Müller, Koeman are all having really good seasons at the moment. So, potentially the Germans will be looking at this and rubbing their hands. You never know. See if Lewandowski can do anything in the summer as well. Yeah. But generally, Munich doing really well, Leipzig pushing them, which is the same as we've seen kind of over the previous seasons. But there are also some shocks in Schalke performing kind of really badly. Hertha, if Hertha get relegated, that would be big, because Union Berlin recently got promoted. Big rivals in Berlin here. And Union are doing like their mid-table team, which is where Hertha should be. So that would be big news for the Berliners. But yeah, some shocks and some kind of not so shocks here in the Bundesliga at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, been a pleasure to have you on, Dan. Thank you very much for that. Guys, obviously, we'll drop a link in for where you can find Dan on Twitch as well, and catch him doing his thing. But for now, thanks, Dan. We will have you back in hopefully 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll get a further update as the season starts to sort of come towards the final bit. But for now, we're going to go back to live time with me. See you later, guys.
See ya. Ciao, ciao.
Lifetime with me, and Qoop, obviously. But I like the way I've done that. That was really cool. Have you noticed the switch around as well there, Qoop? You notice what I've done? Because when I'd done the call earlier with Dan, what I failed to do was mirror my my camera. So it looks like I've basically looped myself the other way from the other side. But you know, it's a skill, man. We should have spot the difference going on these streams as well.
We should.
Because I only realised that when I came back on and I went to scratch my head and I thought, that's the wrong side. I haven't got an itch there. But yes, Dan, thank you very much for that. That was a great insight on what's going on currently in the world of Bundesliga. Definitely. I mean, I don't know how much you sort of pay attention to it, Qoop, but definitely a couple of bits and pieces in there that I was shocked by. Dortmund struggling down in 6th, Schalke being bottom and so far adrift. I
was very surprised at the Huntelaar one.
I didn't even know he'd gone there. I knew he was
under the radar, that.
Yeah, I knew he had been back at Ajax. I did not realise he'd gone to Schalke. And I mean, for a guy of his age, let's be fair, he scored a lot of goals. He was never the most mobile. But he was a proper poacher. But he's now, you know, surely the legs are at a point where he's going. He went back to Ajax to see out his career, and now he's trying to keep Schalke up. So,
he'll be a hero if he does it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a big arse for a relatively old guy. But yeah, fair play to him. And the Damari Gray one, I knew he'd gone to Leverkusen. Do you know what? It's another one where I knew, but it hadn't registered, if it makes sense. So yeah.
Yes.
That'll be an interesting one for him as well. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I always thought he could be a good player. He's just never really kicked on from when he was like 18, 19, because he started off at Birmingham, didn't he? And done well at Birmingham. But yeah, never really kicked on from there. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses from there. But yes, so Qoop, in that 15, 20 minutes, what's been occurring?
We've had two Champions League goals.
There's 2 games, right?
There is 2 games.
Nice.
One in the first 2 minutes. Porto against Juventus. It's Porto 1, Juventus 0. Mehdi Taremi for Porto and Mehdi Taremi. You're as knowledgeable as me about him.
Mate, I spend most of my time in Portugal at the moment. I haven't got a clue who he is.
And on the subject of Borussia Dortmund, they are also playing tonight, and they have just fallen 1-0 behind to Sevilla.
Ooh, wow.
It's former Liverpool man Suso.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, Suso's there now, isn't he?
He's been there for a while, hasn't he?
Well, he was at Milan for quite a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was there last season at least.
Oh, okay. The other one that shocked me as well was with Dan saying about Andre Silva doing well, because he has been crap everywhere. People kept.
Where was he at?
He'd been at Milan and not scored goals. He was at.
Is he Portuguese?
Yeah, or Brazilian, but he
spent Lisbon, I think.
Yeah.
Did he play for Sport
I think so, and I think he'd done all right at Sporting, but then he went to Sevilla and he didn't score goals, or he had one like a good loan period and then was rubbish. He went to Milan, he didn't score goals. He went somewhere else, he didn't score goals. So to see him doing well is actually quite good, because he was another one that everyone was raving about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it just never really happened for him. So it's good to see that sort of thing kicking in. Cool. So any other updates on the scores in the leagues?
No other updates. Swansea Forest is in the second half. That's 0-0. Barnsley Blackburn is 0-0.
Cool.
Coming up to 15 minutes before half time now. And Bournemouth and Rotherham have just kicked off. And also in the Premier League, Man City and Everton has just kicked off.
Okay, cool. Well, shall we move on to my favourite? And do you know what? I think now it could well become a bit of a cult favourite. Let's move on.
Go on.
Oh, it's Knobhead of the Week.
Knobhead of the Week.
Qoop.
Time of the week.
Who have we got as Knobhead of the Week?
Wow.
Last week, I could see the genuine pain on your face, giving it to your favourite Mike Dean. And to such an extent that at the end of it, I remember you throwing in a caveat and saying, actually, Lee Mason goes under the bus as well. So, you couldn't just make Mike Dean the scapegoat. You had to sling Lee Mason under there. Just because Lee Mason's a bigger guy than Mike Dean as well. So he would have taken more of the hit of the bus, wouldn't he? So, this week, who makes it into your Knobhead of the Week?
Well, it's a last-minute change as of yesterday.
Ooh, who was? All right, then.
Yeah.
Okay, who was it going to be?
It was going to be Alisson for the second week in a row for his blunders.
Right.
He only just escaped it last week because of the Mike Dean.
Yeah.
Lee Mason. But for the second week in a row...
Still throwing in Lee Mason. The Mike Dean and Lee Mason.
But the second week in a row, it's a referee.
What? Who this time?
It's Darren Drysdale.
No, he tried to fight an Ipswich player. That's fine.
As much as I hate Ipswich, I mean, what was he thinking?
Oh, mate, it was brilliant. For those of you who have not seen it, look at Darren Drysdale, and he's going to have a fight with Alan Judge, and he's probably in the Ipswich game at the weekend, and he is probably a good 6-7 inches taller.
It was last night, wasn't it?
Was it last night? Sorry, last night, yes.
Which is why it changed last night.
I saw the highlights this morning, and I thought, because I'd heard people talk about it, I thought it must have just been from a few days ago. And it just started.
And I was watching Liverpool in Champions League. I was praying for Alisson to fuck up again.
Just so you could then not put Drysdale in. You know what? I've seen a little bit of it. I don't know what actually happened to get to it, but the squaring up. And I mean, Alan Judge ain't a big guy. Drysdale is proper over the top of him. And it's like, mate.
Yeah. So that is my knobhead of the week. And to be fair, he's done what probably 99% of referees sometimes feel like doing.
Yeah. I can guarantee it. And he's been pulled up on it. And I think it's, do you know what? It's one of those bad things because everyone's talking about him being charged.
Yeah, but he has been charged, hasn't he?
But no one is talking about Doreen. Thank you. Yeah, it was great. It was good stuff. I really appreciate Dan doing that. Sorry, just catching up on the chat there. It was really good stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely have Dan back in again in a few weeks. But yes, the whole thing. There's not been any talk about what the action that's going to be taken against the players.
No.
And I mean, there was a surrounding of him at that point in time, and he lost his shizzle, let's say, to against Alan Judge. But let's be fair, he probably could have picked about 3 or 4 players who were surrounding him to pick on.
Yeah.
It's just a shame he went for the smallest one, and it looked really intimidating.
Yeah. We've got another goal in Spain.
Oh,
in the Champions League.
Yeah.
It's 1-1. Borussia Dortmund equalised.
Who's got the goal?
Mahmoud Dahoud.
Cool. Mahmoud Dahoud. Do you know, I remember the days. This is an issue now. This is an issue because before lockdown, I genuinely felt like I knew loads of players at all these different clubs. And lockdown's kicked in and I ain't got a Scooby. And maybe...
I do. I recognise the name. I haven't got a clue if I'm saying it correctly. I feel like Paul Merson.
But I have even less of a clue, so I couldn't correct you. But yeah, I mean, and also managing Gil Vicente, I don't get a chance to go and look at people at big clubs.
No,
it's a pointless exercise. Just teasing myself. So yeah, so cool. Mahmoud Dahoud has equalised for Dortmund, so it's now Sevilla 1, Dortmund 1.
It is.
Dortmund,
and the away goal.
And the away goal. Dortmund are doing better in the Champions League than they are in Bundesliga.
I wasn't aware until last night that they'd reinstated the 2-legged ties.
Yeah.
In the Champions League.
Yeah.
So.
And to be fair, they've not really caused much of a delay either, because this is normally last week and this week would normally be when they're playing these round of ties anyway.
I was just disappointed because I don't feel like anyone should have to sit through a second game of Liverpool against Leipzig. Because that game was absolute dross.
Didn't Liverpool's goals come purely from Leipzig cock-ups?
Yeah, defensively they were really poor. Upamecano was so poor in possession.
Really?
His head's probably at Bayern Munich already, isn't it?
Yeah, or wherever. Has he signed for Munich?
Yeah, it's confirmed, which I was surprised you didn't talk about on with Dan. But yeah, that is a pre-contract agreement that's been done.
I wasn't aware that. I knew there'd been the chat, and I knew there was the chat about various different clubs he could have been going to, but I wasn't aware that it was that was all done deal. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So weekend results. Obviously, fixtures. We talked last week about the wheels falling off the Norwich bandwagon. Those wheels look as though they've been gorilla glued back on in the short term with a 4-1 win at Stoke, and they're currently 2-0 up away at Coventry.
Currently 2-0 up, yeah.
So looking good and getting the helping hand.
It firmly looks like they've borrowed wheels from the Brentford bus and currently the Swansea bus, who are drawing 0-0 with Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, well, Brentford are winning tonight, aren't they?
1-0. But they don't normally go in front in games. No, they normally go a goal behind.
They do, but then they went a goal behind against Barnsley and conceded a second one, didn't they? So
yeah,
that was a shock. That was a shock.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of redeemed ourselves last night at Reading after 2 dreadful results. We were poor against Brentford after going 1-0 up and then throwing away the goals last week, and then the loss to Millwall at the weekend was awful. Again, 1-0 up, throwing that away. So it's not a surprise last night when we went 2-0 up with 10 minutes left and Pano took off 3 attacking players and brought on 3 defenders. Don't blame him. him. And I think we ended up with two defenders playing as wide midfielders and then the other guys playing at the back. Do you know what? Do what you need to do. 2-0 up. If you're still not overly comfortable, make sure you get the result. And that's what we've done. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Championship sort of getting back in. Premier League, the Man City bus, full on the roll, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was thinking about, obviously, after watching the Barca PSG game last night.
Yeah.
And Messi obviously linked with Man City, isn't he, in the summer?
Yeah.
And apart from the Aguero, Gabriel Jesus role, I don't really see how he'd fit in that team.
I think the problem is Messi's going in there and it's almost a nostalgia thing for Pep. I mean, don't get me wrong, Messi is still a quality player, but how do we gauge him now? He's in a team he doesn't want to be in. It's so apparent.
But you think if he goes to Man City, he's not going to replace De Bruyne. He's not going to replace Sterling. Currently, not going to get in ahead of Gundogan. And Phil Foden. Do you really think Man City fans would want to see Phil Foden's growth stunted by? Technically, it has been Lionel Messi coming in.
But isn't De Bruyne crocked at the moment?
Yeah,
and that's the only reason Gundogan's playing. As soon as De Bruyne is fit again, Gundogan will be out again.
No, Gundogan's been class.
No, I know he has.
He's been so good.
And I've always thought he was a good player. But as soon as De Bruyne is back, he's in.
I don't know. I think De Bruyne will play in that sort of Mahrez sort of position that keeps interchanging with can't remember who else, but that's the sort of position they change regularly, isn't it?
Mahrez has been crap this season.
Exactly. Yeah. So I see De Bruyne probably playing in there.
Okay.
When he comes back in, unless Gundogan gets injured.
Or would you not see Messi playing in that role in the summer?
I don't think so. I don't think he fits. I don't think he fits in that team.
I wouldn't be surprised if Messi doesn't go to Man City.
I don't think he will, personally. I think the only team he's going to go to is probably PSG.
Yeah, PSG will either swap him with Neymar, or Mbappe will go and he'll go in there and replace Mbappe.
I don't see a swap.
What, with Neymar?
No, Mbappe.
Oh no! That won't be a swap. As in Mbappe will be sold. Someone will buy Mbappe and Messi will replace him that way.
Okay.
No, there's no swap deal there, mate.
there's another goal in the Champions League.
Oh.
Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, and it's a 2-1 lead for Borussia Dortmund.
Ooh! Is it a player we've heard of?
And you'll know this guy. It's Erling Haaland.
Yeah, Erling Braut Haaland.
The one we know.
Yay! Winning! Right. Shall we go on again? Let's move on once more to a new... Well, it's not a new segment. We brought it in the other week and it kind of... Get in, Dan's happy. Go on to Dortmund.
He's a Berlin fan, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, but he's supporting the German teams, isn't he? Doing his bit. But let's do... It's not a new feature because we did do it last week, but it's a new feature in terms of... It's now got a segment. Are we good? We're good. And it is Bajie's Bad eBay Buys of the Week. So, we'll go back to the live screen for that. So, Qoop.
Yes.
Last week, we had the eBay buys, which were they were controversial. People didn't really get why they were bad eBay buys until it was explained, and then everyone was like, "Oh shit." Beckham didn't play Euro 96. Someone's trying to sell a Euro 96 Beckham shirt. England didn't qualify for Euro 2008. Someone's trying to sell a John Terry Euro 2008 shirt. Bergkamp
wasn't number 10.
Wore number 8 at the 98 World Cup. Someone's trying to sell a Bergkamp 10 shirt from the World Cup. Stupid things that people have just cocked up on. But this week's are a little bit different in so much as what I've done is I've looked around and there wasn't any real cock-ups in terms of numbering and things like that this time. But there were some goddamn awful things and stupid amounts of money being wanted for things. And one of them is even worse, where it's people trying to profit from essentially from the death of a legend. And I don't like that. So let's get back to the eBay pictures. So first up, we have got a Norwich shirt. It's not signed by anyone. It's not a match-worn shirt. I do remember this kit from sort of early days of watching football. Norwich in this, I can remember Dale Gordon running up and down the wing, Robert Flex scoring a few goals, and Robert Rosario never hitting a barn door. But someone has found this shirt, clearly in their loft, no mothballs, no holes, 195 quid. 195 quid. I'm not surprised there's no freaking bids. What the hell are people smoking, Qoop?
Is it not? It's not even signed, is it?
No.
There's nothing special.
It's not signed. It's not match worn. It's nothing. It's in very good condition.
I'm pretty sure you can go in the club shop and get a replica of that shirt for about 35 quid.
It's 195 quid. No freaking bids. Of course there's no freaking bids. You clown.
It's a bit ashamed of themselves.
They should be. Right. We move on to something.
That's mine.
We move on to something possibly even worse. Right? This Manchester United jumper.
Which is disgusting.
It's hideous. And it's marketed as unisex, as in no one would ever have sex with you. I don't think that's unisex. I think that's unsex. And they've just they've added an I. Then Manchester United football sweater, unusual, rare, single. Yes, you will be. But I saw it. If you then go further into it, hold on a second, because I will then get the eBay screen up so I can give you the full detail of exactly what that says. Because
I'd love to meet the guy who owns this.
or the person who's trying to sell it. It says unusual, rare, single stitch, bootleg. Bootleg. It's bought on a freaking Turkish market. And they want 200 quid for it, Qoop. Or best offer. My best offer. My best offer would be the £4.20 or whatever it is that they want for delivery. That's what I'll give them.
You got to go halves on it?
No. No. Well, yeah, £2 each. I'll go halves on that bit.
200 for sure.
200 quid. That shirt's awful. No, I wouldn't do that for anyone. It then says at the bottom, Reds. It says the Reds. It's not the Reds. That's Liverpool. It's the Red Devils. It's the wrong. It's even got the wrong nickname. It says.
I can't deal with it. Oh, we've got to go.
Oh, please make me feel better.
The wheels have come off at Brentford. It's 1-1.
Oh,
QPR have equalised.
Mate. QPR have equalised.
Sam Field, and there is 15 minutes of the game remaining.
Oh.
As a Redden fan, you'll enjoy that as well.
Why? Oh,
because
Brentford
obviously
losing. Brentford not getting the full 3 points. Yeah. No. I was going to say no. I hate QPR.
No.
But yes, no, I get it now. Can you see on your screen though, Qoop, what it says revolving around the ball in the centre?
Oh,
It's
world class Reds.
It says world class Reds. This is
not for a few years, they haven't.
This is arguably the worst. No, I am not bidding. I'm not on your Nelly. If someone donated me £200 to buy that jumper, I still wouldn't buy it.
I mean, to be fair, how good would that look hanging up behind you next to Bajie and Burkamp?
When you say how good, I mean, it's easy, isn't it? It would look shit. That's how good it would look. World class. That is a relevant.
Oh! another goal.
QPR.
QPR 2-1 up.
Oh, the Brentford wheels are off.
It's Charlie Austin.
Oh! Did you not bid on a cut-out shirt? Just saying. Shut up, Durin.
I mean, to be fair, I'd rather spend 200 quid on a square cutout of a shirt that has Bajie on instead of that.
Yep.
A full.
Exactly right. Yes, I did. I did not know. This, I would be fully aware of what I'm purchasing, and it would be 200 quid. Not a chance. Not only does it have Man United and advertise that it's bootleg and ropey and everything else, but it looks awful. It just looks awful. Okay, so the final one, and this upsets me a lot, right? Because it is just trying to profit off of the fact that Maradona died. It's as simple as that. 1986, Diego Maradona shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
With a picture of him next to it, which is great. But a shirt,
that's not the same.
It's not the same. It's got a number 10 on the front and his name on the back. There's no names on the back of the shirts, and he hasn't got a number 10 on the front. 25 quid.
I'd rather buy that than the Man U one.
Well, yeah, partly because it's like stupid amount cheaper. But I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, how bad is that? That is proper bootleg. I mean, that's bootleg. That's the sort of thing you'd pick up on a market stall.
Yeah.
With a naff or spliffy coat. It's like, I don't get. I mean, they would have been better off having the picture of the shirt and shorts and not having Maradona next to it, because then you wouldn't have been so obvious that there's no number 10 on the front.
Yeah. Poor.
Beggar's belief, man. What is going through people's head? Do you know what? I think just for that one. Actually, no. For all three. If anyone, the seller of this one, bad. If anyone buys those two, they get to become Knobhead of the Week. Knobhead of the Week.
There's been another goal.
Oh, not Brentford equaliser.
It's Bournemouth 1, Rotherham 0.
Oh, well, yes, I didn't even know they were playing.
Yeah,
so, there we go.
It's Philip Billing.
Philip Billing. Blackburn Barnsley? Local derby?
Yeah, half time 0-0.
Oh, so let's go on to dish out some points if anyone gets any. Where are we? Let me find the right page. Oh, Millwall were beating Birmingham 2-0.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't know where to squeeze that one in, to be honest.
Nah, that's fair. I don't blame you. Okay, so choose outcome. Will Barnsley be beating Blackburn at half time? The answer is no. Choose an outcome. And I know that Jareen has got shed loads of points, and she's just trying to spaff them. Just spending them. So fair play. She's just given some points to Dan there. That's Dan's payment for doing the true story. That's Dan's payment for doing the interview. I think you get paid in channel points, Dan. There we go, mate. Jareen's giving you a bunch of hers. Cool. Right, so that's that. What else have we got, Guan? Anything else floating around that we need to discuss, Qoop?
I need to discuss my conspiracy theory.
Oh, of course. You've got a conspiracy. Right. Qoop told me earlier that he had a conspiracy theory, and I thought it was going to be that was your knobhead of the week. So, yes, cool. Let's discuss your conspiracy theory.
So it started watching Liverpool against Leicester on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it carried on into last night, watching the Liverpool game again. Then I flipped over to the Barcelona game, and I noticed that there was no Philip Coutinho in the squad for Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it's been a Sunday League move where he's changed his name and is playing under a different name. And I swear that they have signed Philip Coutinho under Ozan Kabak.
They look alike, do they?
They look exactly alike. And no wonder he can't defend.
Is he not?
He's secretly gone back to Liverpool. That's why everyone was like, has Kabak signed yet? Has Kabak signed yet?
I've not. I'll be honest. I've not seen anything of Kabak yet. Is he bad?
He wasn't great against Leicester. He didn't really have a lot to do last night.
Right. Okay.
But he was very, very far forward every time I saw him.
Just go.
Coutinho's back at Liverpool.
He signed from Schalke. Oh, well, there you go then. Yeah. So Schalke must. I didn't realise when he signed for Schalke how badly Schalke were doing. So they must have run their hands and like, wow, Liverpool must be really desperate if they want our defence. How shit must Nathaniel and Nat Phillips and Reece Williams be? And I saw someone earlier say, is Jordan Henderson the best centre-back for England at the moment?
Was it Lewis?
No, someone on Twitter. To which I just responded straight out, no, not even the best midfielder for England. He's not even the best midfielder at Liverpool. So, no, he's not the best defender for England at the moment.
No.
Go stick your head in the oven. Crazy, crazy bastards. Hendo, no. Hendo. Yeah, exactly. Hendo. Yeah. So I'm waiting for maybe a relaunch when Virgil van Dijk gets fit again, when their careers end, him and Jordan to do like a Bigfoot and the Hendersons remake. That'd be amazing. But yeah, he signed for Schalke. So he signed from Schalke. So I mean, Schalke did lose Weston McKennie, who pretty much covered every position for him last season.
He's only signed from Schalke because obviously Barcelona let him go to Schalke, I'd imagine. So it didn't look so obvious him coming from Barcelona.
I see. It's a little floaties. I
think the league need to dig into this.
Is Coutinho not still on loan at Bayern?
No, that was last season.
No, I thought he was on an 18-month loan.
No, he played a couple of games. He's played a couple of games for Barcelona, before the transfer window. Just to illustrate my point, I may have a picture of the both of them on my phone.
That's weird.
Which will put to the game. No, it was in preparation for this. I have. So make your own minds up.
Oh Jesus! There we go.
Same player.
There we go. I think we need to just put in here. New poll. Kabak and Coutinho. Same person.
Been another goal in Spain, Badge.
Yeah.
And it's Erling Haaland who's got a second for Borussia Dortmund. It's 3-1 to Dortmund against Sevilla.
Dortmund are romping. To be fair,
they are.
Sevilla aren't used to being in this round. It's why. Sevilla used to getting knocked out in the group stages and being in the Europa League. They struggle.
They're like me. They're missing the Europa League.
They are, but they've messed up because if they lose this, they don't go into it now. They're done. Chance is gone, man. Chance is gone. Right. Anything else to cover off, Qoop? Conspiracy theory, Kabak and Coutinho, one are the same. Done.
I've got no more goals to tell you about. We're coming into the final couple of minutes of the Norwich game, the Millwall-Birmingham game, the QPR Brentford game, and Swansea have just scored against Nottingham Forest.
That's not good.
No, that's Connor Roberts with 3 minutes of normal time remaining.
Oh, man. Forest held out so long. Oh, dear. I'd just like to say, I saw, obviously, Reading beat Bristol City last night.
Yep.
And I was quite entertained to see Henry Lansbury at Bristol City taking every set piece.
Right.
They were all shit.
Is that it? Is that your whole story?
Yeah, he's turned up there. He's played about 4 games. He's already on all the set pieces, and they were all pretty dross. No Conor Harahan, is he? He was wanted. Henry Lansbury, nobody wanted him. Bristol City in the end went, oh, come on, Henry.
Bristol City just got him.
Yeah, he just turned up. He'd done a Peter Odom wingy. He sat in the car park and someone accidentally got him to sign he said, do you want my autograph? And they gave him the wrong autograph. Oh, dear. Have we got any votes? Are they one of the same? Kabak and Coutinho. On polls, you can vote, Qoop.
Well, obviously, I'm going to vote because I'm going to vote yes because I brought it up.
Yeah, well, I've already voted yes. They are one of the same. Which actually just goes to show how young Philippe Coutinho looks. Bless him.
Bless him, yeah, because Kabak's only 20.
Exactly. Coutinho's got to be pushing 30 now, hasn't he? So... But yeah, I reckon on that bombshell of Coutinho and Kabak being one of the same, I'm going to end that poll. The answer is yes. All 4 people have said yes. They are one of the same. Love it. Love it. Guys and girls, thank you very much for being here. Stick around for a couple of extra seconds because we will, as ever, we'll go on a little cheeky raid. There's a few of us in here, so it's worth raiding someone. I'm just having a little look. Raid a channel. I don't know who's on. Lemo's doing a charity stream, but I raided him earlier. So I'm not going to do that. Him.
Of course.
So, good skincare routine. Exactly. That was good fun, guys. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks for your interview, mate. People that are here, obviously, Dan is knocking out a charity stream on Friday. So, if you aren't following, go drop him a follow. And we will... I will definitely see you on Friday, Dan. Thank you very much. We'll get Dan back in a couple of weeks. I know I'm going to go and raid. It's going to be controversial. It's going to be very controversial. But you'll like this guy, Qoop. This guy is very knowledgeable. I'm pretty sure he's an Arsenal fan. But very he's kind of on a level with me on the football side of things, I'd say. He knows his shizzle.
That's like the adult equivalent of a play date, isn't it? You two will get on. Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. Be nice. Play nicely.
He's an Arsenal fan. You play with
him. We will go and drop him a raid. He's playing a different kind of game, not something we would normally go and have a look at. But he's a good lad. So stick around. Everyone else, Qoop, we will see you next week, and we'll see you on to chat at some point. On to chat. Dan, I will catch you. If not tomorrow, I'll catch you on Friday. I will be back tomorrow with a Bajie79 lunchtime live sessions where we try and get over the disappointment of being knocked out of the Europa Conference League before we got to the league. God damn you Rangers, you dirty Scottish scumbags.
Don't forget to hit up the Insta, guys.
Oh, and Qoop's Insta as well, which will probably come up on the screen any second now. We are going to go on a raid. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your evening. I will catch you all very soon. Peace out.